Happy November. It is time once again to take a look at your PTO leader to-do list, your checklist, what you need to be doing this month and paying particular attention to. The thing about PTOs is that things largely stay the same year over year, but what you need to be paying attention to each month, that's where the changes actually are like the biggest and that you need to pay the closest attention to. So once you kind of get into the routine, as you become a more seasoned leader, you're going to recognize these patterns. And the patterns are already really made clear kind of by the natural rhythm and cycle of the school year. And so when you as a PTO leader just become more aware of these things, you can anticipate what needs to be done. It'll kind of make sense and you won't be feeling like, I'm first of all so glad that you're watching this video, but my hope is that you are going to become a more comfortable, confident leader by listening to what I have to say in this video and others, and that you can kind of make your position your own and that you can more fully and freely give back to your school's community. Alrighty, so let's dive into what you should be doing and paying attention to as a PTO president during the month of November. So I hope that you are more comfortable in your position and that you're into the swing of the year and that things are starting to feel really good and that you're not feeling too overwhelmed. And I especially hope that you're not feeling burned out yet. It is awfully early, my friend, if you're feeling that way. But the biggest thing that you should be doing right now is checking in with your other leaders, like seeing what they need help with. If things are not being done, that usually means that people don't know how to do them, or that it's not so much the time. I think it's more they don't have the knowledge or experience or know about resources to help make it happen. And so they kind of put it off because I find personally when I have a plan for something, then it gets done. But if I'm not quite so sure on what needs to be done or how to do it or who I need to call or talk to, then it takes longer. And some people are go-getters. Like I am personally a go-getter. If someone gives me something to do or asks me to do something, then, first of all, I never say yes to something that I totally have no idea, but generally it's going to be in my wheelhouse because I like to figure things out. And I think that is true for most PTO leaders, but there are some people that really just don't know, one, how to ask for help, or two, how to look for the information that they don't know about, if that makes any sense. So really, as the president, you're going to need to be really tuned in with all of the leaders in your group and all of the members, really anybody who's stepping up to help. If they have a job that's been delegated to them by another leader, or if you have been asking for their help with something, then you need to be reaching out and checking in with them, seeing what kind of support they need, what resources they need. Maybe they don't know about the staff list that you have saved to the Google Drive. Maybe they don't even understand the Google Drive. Not everybody is tech savvy, so that is why you need to not make those assumptions and really be checking in and seeing what people need and asking the questions, especially about how you can help. Doesn't mean that you need to be doing everything, but you can be facilitating a connection with somebody else who can make it happen. So treasurers, the month of November is when a lot of filings are due tax-wise. You want to make sure that you have your 990 done, and then your particular state might have some state filings that are also due. They're going to change by state, so I'm not going to run through everything. I know here in Ohio, we have some filings that are due in November. I think they have timed them with to coincide with the 990 because it kind of just makes sense. I think we have to do a charitable organization registration, something like that. Again, I've never been treasurer because you guys know I am not that good with math. I cannot even do basic math. It is embarrassing, but that is okay because we cannot be good at everything or that would be unfair, right? So we all have our strengths and weaknesses. Math is my kryptonite. So anyway, you want to make sure that you get those filings done. It is not the end of the world if you blow the deadline. You will get maybe a nastygram or a nasty letter. It is not going to be the end of your group, but just try as hard as you can to get that stuff done in on time. Earlier is better. Do not wait to the 15th to be doing your filing and then find out that you need additional information or that the password you have doesn't work. Do it early, my friend. You are going to thank yourself. The other thing you might want to do is getting your treasure binder organized. We're like fifth of the way through the year or so, which is like kind of crazy to think about, but you should have, especially if your PTO is pretty active, you should have a fair amount of receipts and paperwork that you've already accumulated. So go ahead and organize your binder now, get things put where they need to go so that at the end of the year, you don't have that shoebox of receipts that you're going to hand off to the auditor. They will not like you. It just makes for a smoother process if you have everything organized. That way, if you need to refer back to something, for example, someone can say, how much did we spend on X last year? Or how many pizzas do we get for the game against Bedford, for example? Like, you can have that information. Like, it's more than just the money that you're tracking. A lot of it is the event details because people don't always take the time to write things down. So you can be the backup for those people with that information. Membership chairs. Hopefully you have had a fantastically successful membership drive. So you want to bust out your membership planner and get out the event planner and summary form and write down what you did to make it a success. Write down what you sent out and when, what tweaks you had to make, what suggestions you would make for the future. All of that information, there are all those prompts in that form that's contained in the Parent Involvement Success Kit, like specifically in the binder section of the kit. So go ahead and make sure to fill all of that out so that you know either if you're going to continue in the role next year, you can remember back and actually not have to remember back. You can look back at your notes and figure out what you did so that you can tweak or repeat as needed. And then also if you're handing it off to somebody else, they will have some guidance to go on. The opportunity for parents and teachers and staff to join your PTO should not be limited to the beginning of the school year. Like, really, your job as membership chair is to constantly be bringing people in and looking for opportunities. Doesn't mean you need to do a gigantic drive. It might be that the bulk of your members come in at the beginning of the year and then the rest kind of trickle through, one or two every month. Every parent that you get to sign up as a member is another potential volunteer for your group. So you're widening your volunteer pool as your membership grows. So definitely keep on that track. It's only going to benefit your group for the positive going forward. In November, staff appreciation chairs have the opportunity to really play into the turkey themed grateful for you sort of things. If you haven't yet had an appreciation event, now is the time because, like I said, you can really lean into the grateful themes. I'm sure the staff will appreciate whatever you do. Ideas that you could do to lean into the month is to get, or lean into the Thanksgivingness of everything, is to get individual pies or maybe get bigger pies. Like one year we got a whole bunch of pies from Costco and just set them out and the teachers could help themselves. We had more than enough for everybody because those big pies are humongous. And so it was a really cost-effective way to give a treat to everybody. I think we spent under $150 and super nice and very much appreciated. Fundraising chairs. Hopefully you have had your first major fundraiser of the year and it was a smashing success. But don't assume that it was. Go ahead and assess how successful it was, if you met your budget or if you met your income goals so that you can fully fund your budget for the year or not, and figure out a game plan going forward. Again, you don't need to always be doing something. Like if you have met your fundraising income goals for the year and no new needs have arisen, then you can kind of step back from that fundraising role. Like you don't need to be doing something every single month. You can kind of step back, still be involved as a PTO leader, but not necessarily in the act of fundraising kind of way. What you could be doing is looking to see what your group can do for the next year to make things easier. You could be looking for volunteers that want to help, like not officially signing them on, but kind of scouting out interest. You could be looking and just keeping your eyes open for different fundraisers, different kinds. Like maybe you've always done a catalog sale. Maybe you want to do a readathon or a walkathon or a runathon or some other direct donation sort of event. For family fun and program chairs, to highly encourage you to not rely on your memory. I know that as people especially now that I've hit the end of the 40s kind of years, my memory is not what it used to be, especially pre-kids. So I for sure try not to rely on my memory for things because I forget the details, and it is a lot easier to look at an existing plan of how bingo night was planned, or how the homecoming dance was planned, or whatever kind of event, the bonfire. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's way easier for you to come in and redo the event next year if you have a starting point already. It can look at what happened previously than starting totally from scratch. Like, it's going to take just way more time and effort. So make sure that you're fully filling out those forms. If you do not have those forms, they are included in the President Success Kit, as well as the family events binder that is included in the PTO Success Kit. So kind of in November, this is where most groups tend to, and most leaders, of course, you have the upcoming holidays, and usually the bulk of the work is falling on us at home too, to prepare for the holidays. So it can be really hard to balance both. So it is totally fine to kind of take your foot off of the PTO gas pedal to give yourself some breathing room as we get further into the month and further into the holiday season. And so it's not uncommon for kind of things to kind of settle down. Your PTO, maybe you need to look at maybe not meeting if you have no business to do. It kind of just depends on what is going on in your group. Don't meet for the sake of meeting in a formal business way. Even if you have no business to do, I would still encourage you to get together, but I would take it out of school and maybe go to a restaurant or someplace else where you can either have dinner and drinks, or just drinks or dessert or whatever. Just give people a reason to get together, because it's those relationships. If your group is new and you don't know each other very well, then this is really going to be a good strategy for kind of helping everybody to get on the same page and feel more comfortable with each other. The other thing it can do is just really deepen the connections between your members, and it'll just make you more cohesive as a group. If you have another role in your PTO that I didn't talk about today that you're looking for some guidance with, feel free to pop a question in the comments below. I so hope that this video was helpful. And if you are a new leader, I would highly encourage you to go ahead and look at the past videos that have been done. So especially because things are so cyclical, that what I talked about in January, well, guess what? January is going to be coming up here pretty soon. So you can give that video a watch and be prepared for what is coming up, and just help you become more prepared. Because I think when you are more prepared, you're a more confident leader and things are just easier. So I'm all about doing things that are easier, because being a PTO leader is not as easy as we make it look. So until next time, you guys, want even more guidance on how to be a stronger leader so you can run a better PTO or PTA? All of these resources and more are waiting for you at ptoanswers.com.